Hello there and welcome back to the studio. In the studio I have some esteemed speakers for our Playtech LATAM discussion. I have joining me...
Hi.
Hi. Can you introduce yourself down this camera?
Yes, Aviv Sher, CEO of Codere Online, and here to speak about LATAM regulations and LATAM forward-looking statements. Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Cecilia Valdez, the Executive President of the Chilean Association of Casino and Gambling.
Good afternoon. My name is Pedro Extremera. I'm a Regional Director for Spain, Portugal, and Latin America for Playtech, and I'm looking forward to these LATAM discussions.
So this question is for all of you, and whoever would like to respond first, go in there. Outside of Brazil, what other Latin American markets do you think could be the next big thing?
Chile.
Chile, I agree. I agree. If we are talking about the next big thing, should be Chile, because let's say out of the big countries in South America, is still the only one that is not fully regulated with an online regulation framework. So it is, I agree, the next big thing. I think currently we are looking at several countries such as Peru that was lately regulated, that might be the next big thing, and Colombia that is there for many years already and still with a lot of burden from all kind of regulation changes. Maybe this year, if regulation will go down a little bit, it will be back to normal, and then might be the next big thing. And we see Argentina already fulfilled being the next big thing, especially in the province of Buenos Aires. So yes, LATAM is moving forward in terms of regulation frameworks.
Cecilia?
Yeah, I'm from Chile, so I can say Chile, but it's not because I'm from there, because this year we have a lot of changes. We're going to have a new government taking place, and also a lot of new parliaments taking office on March. So I hope the new government and the new parliaments came with I know they really want to do something about the industry. They are aware that the problem that we have because of the illegal market now, and they also need to have increase the revenues of the taxes. So there's many things that do that the new government is going to change how things have been doing for now.
So I think that the next big thing will be Chile, because it's the new market. But in terms of size, I think still Brazil, it's up there. Mexico is contending. Peru, just with the new regulation last year, already more than 160 operators in Peru. So yeah, all in all, Mexico is still a lot happening in Mexico. So all in all, I think that the most important one in the next year or so would be Chile because of the new regulation. But in terms of size, there's other markets that are more important.
And just to put you all on the spot a little bit, which Spanish-speaking LATAM market offers the best 3 to 5 year upside, and why?
It's a tricky question. I would say in terms of upside, I think Argentina will continue to perform very well. Colombia, as I said, is very dependent on the latest regulatory VAT developments. If it will be reduced to a normal taxation, I think can be a nice upside in Colombia. And then, of course, if Chile, for any reason, will be regulated, is an upside. Peru might prove itself, although right now we are still seeing low player values over there in this country. So I would say, if you ask me, it should be Argentina, Colombia, Chile, and later on, if not Chile, then Peru.
Cecilia?
Yeah, the same, but in addition to say that many European companies are looking to America or to South America like a huge, as a huge country. So it's important to have, for us, a fast regulation, so we can like share the market with Peru, with Argentina, even with Ecuador, that they are doing things happening there, Paraguay also. So maybe each one is small, but if we think in the whole continent, we can be very attractive. But we have to have the laws, so like the regulatory, and also we need to have a law in Chile and to add for the continent.
Yeah, regulation framework.
Yes.
Regulation framework is very important. We lack it in Mexico, for example. There is a very old law that the business is based on. If we are taking a look at Brazil, on the good part, it's that there is a regulation framework. It's quite clear what's happening with the operators there and what are the taxes. It's true that as an operator, you also expect that once there is a regulation framework and we shake hands with the regulator, it will not change. Unfortunately, in Brazil and other countries, as well as Peru and of course in Colombia, it changes as the industry develops, which is not optimal for the operators to operate. Since our plans are 3 and 5 years, and if every year something changes, very hard for us to predict the future.
So I think that Argentina, it's regulated at provincial level. So at the moment, there's most of the other countries in LATAM are regulated at national level. So that is an issue in Argentina because you have like so many different provinces with different regulations, different taxations as well. Then as well we have Colombia with there was new taxations last year with a 19% deposit. So that was something that really hit the bottom line of the operators. Now that was finished at the end of the year. They will start now with another increase of the taxation, 19% taxation increase on tax. So and then Peru is it's a big market, big gaming market, over $2.5 billion market. Like the online only, it will be around 400 million this year. So I think that the key message here would be to not change the
rules.
The rules,
yes. Because
for the operators it's difficult to have a plan and then they change the rules, increase Mexico, Colombia. So it's very difficult for the operators.
And when we talk about the likes of Argentina, Peru and Mexico as markets already regulated, does that reduce the potential upside for new licenses?
I would say yes and no. Yes, because if you are already entered the mature market, which is not the case currently in South America, it's very hard to penetrate. No, because if you are entering a market with enough capital and strategy and long-term investment, we can see great results. If we look at Argentina, Betson came into the province, I think, last out of the players, and now leading the market. They came very strong with a lot of capital, investment, good product, so they managed to take advantage of this license very good. You see it in the reports. And you see other competitors coming in, putting their toe in the water, trying to check, and then it's very hard to move. On a regulated market, you need capital, you need strategy, you need product in order to succeed, and if you have them, you can succeed, of course.
I think the most important thing is to have clear rules. Clear rules, so the operators know if they are going to enter to the market, which are the framework that they have to apply, and so that's the most important thing.
So in the end of the day, it depends on, because Latin America is very different it's a big area, but every country is completely different. So companies have different strategies that
Yes.
for some markets they work really well, and then for other markets it's very
Doesn't.
difficult for them to get that magic formula. So it's not one operator goes into the space and can replicate the business model in all of the countries in Latin America. So that's, from the outside it looks very, very easy, but it's not as easy in the
Inside
reality. And I think Aviv can share as well, because like Mexico is not the same as Colombia or other markets, Panama or Argentina. So it's very different.
But it's the same like here in Europe, that you don't have like an online law for the whole continent, but so every country has their own laws and taxes and publicity policies and everything. So yeah, in America I think it's the same, but it will be a good idea if we can do something and to compare the market and be similar between us. It will be easy for the market, for the competitors, even for the regulators who wants to fight against the illegal market.
So even in Argentina, there's like different regulations
Yes.
for each province.
Yes.
So only Argentina has different regulations. Every country has different regulations. So the most stable one here is Colombia. That's been regulated for over 10 years now. So
Yeah.
that's the most stable one, and they seem to be doing a good job, except the
Except of the
last year's
increase in
surprise.
taxes.
Yes, the last year's surprise. So, but
Yeah.
apart from that, it's more stable.
Cecilia, Chilean legislators have been negotiating online regulations for a number of years,
long
as I'm
time.
sure you're well aware.
Yeah.
Do you feel that 26 will be a breakthrough that will lead to a market opening?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
for sure it's going to be. As I said before, I've been talking with them, with the new authorities, with the new government and also with new parliament. So they are really into this industry. Some of them doesn't like it before of the concept of the game, and because in Chile we have been suffering. Well, you're going to laugh. We have a lot of illegal game. All online betting is illegal in Chile. So of course, many of congressmen doesn't like the game. So it's a huge work for us to work with them and to convince that the only way to fight the illegal game or the illegal gambling is with the regular market. So that is, I think it's going to be the key point and the changing for this year.
Yeah, and do you think that the slower progress is a potential advantage as you can learn from other territories?
Yeah, it's progressing. The law, it's just in the last part of the complete program, so it's one stage more and we have a law. For sure this is going to change because there's so many things that it's not okay, even for the industry, even for the authorities, even for the consumers. So we have to change many things, but the idea and the impulse to have taxes, revenues, and many other things is most important than the thing that you have to change in that the specific topics on the bill.
Okay, so let's talk about player habits. And what I want to know is what you think about the importance of localization in LATAM and what the key differences you see between the largest Spanish language markets in terms of player behaviors.
No escuché. ¿Me escuchaste?
The player behaviors.
Ah, okay.
I think in general we see difference, of course, like you see difference in food and other things. It is a cultural thing of how the players are playing and where they are playing right now. It's not that gambling came in those countries out of nowhere. It always existed. It's part of the cultures for
Yes.
tens of years or hundreds of years already. So when coming to the market, we see the behavior correlates to what the players are familiar with, at least in the casino arena or sometimes the bingo arena and so on. Sport betting, maybe it's a little bit more new thing, new in the past, let's say 20, 30 years, but because sport betting is such a global product and you see during the game so many advertisements and probably players are already exposed or playing in illegal markets like in Chile or in other markets, I think in that sense penetration is easier. But casino games and those kinds of behavior is good probably to look at the retail activities and compare them to the online and help them do the transfer from retail to online by showing them the games that they are already familiar with and the behavior that they are already familiar with. So kind of a transition. It's a transition period. I don't think it takes long, by the way, maybe a year or two, and the players are already getting used to playing online and knows the product, and now they are expecting a better product, right? So people are competing with the better products all the time.
Yeah, I think it's a huge warning about the young people playing or gambling in the online smartphone or wherever. We did a research with the corporate of the responsible gaming, and yeah, there's a huge concern about young people from 12 to 15 playing and spending a lot of time in their smartphone with gambling or sport betting. So this is a behavior that we haven't seen before because of the online. And again, the only way to regulate, to combat this, to fight that, and to prevent that is regulating the market.
So in terms of there's a lot of different demographics by country. In some countries, they like more some games, some other games. Mostly in LATAM in generally, football is the number, sports betting, football is the number one, probably like 90% betting. Mexico, it's a little bit different because depending if you're closer to the US, you have more influence of American sports. But in the lower part of Mexico and then all the way down to Argentina, the predominant sport, it's for sports betting, it's football. Then in terms of casino, there's a lot of play in terms of slots, live dealer. So I would say yes, sports betting, casino, live dealer, are very are the key products in the region in general.
And looking ahead now, what market do you think could surprise the industry as a major driver of growth over the next few years?
Chile?
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be, yeah, we have a huge penetrating of digitalization. Everybody has smartphones, like more than one even. So if we can regulate and do a good law and you can put the frames, yeah, I think we are going to have a huge market with a high ticket also.
Do you agree with that?
I still think Mexico is the key market.
Oh, well,
still got a lot of growth in there, a lot of opportunities to grow.
And it's huge.
And it's a huge market.
Yeah.
Brazil, it's huge as well, but it's very complex, and with the taxation, new taxation coming in, it's not. I think the politicians do not have a clear view still. Things will change from a political point, but I believe that Mexico is still the market to go into.
And is there anywhere you think may become a cautionary tale for the rest of the industry?
Could you?
Anywhere that might become a cautionary tale, so the converse of what we were just discussing.
Yes.
The converse.
Well, we see what happened in Colombia, for example, that they, out of nowhere, put emergency decree and added 19% tax. So any surprised regulatory changes by governments, sometimes hostile governments, can hurt the business badly. We see it in Colombia. It's a lose-lose situation where everybody is losing, especially the government. I don't think there is a straightforward answer because we cannot predict it, right? It depends on the government and government changes.
But there's been changes in Brazil, taxation.
Yes.
In Peru as well, with a 1% ISC.
Yeah.
That goes, the player should pay it, but in the end of the day, it's the operator paying that 1%. Colombia as well, Mexico, so it's
Mexico, they changed taxes. So
very rough times.
So I think the answer is if regulatory change, it can be a huge setback, especially if you are putting huge investments into those markets in terms of marketing, and suddenly the investments that you planned for 5 years, you will not return them in 10 or 20 years.
Especially like Aviv being a listed company, it's not easy with these changes in taxation because they have 3-5 year plans and it's very difficult to fulfill them.
So we've spoken about Argentina, Peru, Mexico, Chile. Where else do you see to have potential in the region?
Ecuador, I think it's having plans to change law. Ecuador. Ecuador, Paraguay also. I have spoken with the people from there.
We are speaking for many years in Uruguay. We
Uruguay,
have a strong,
Uruguay,
strong
they are
retail
still,
presence.
yes.
And they tell us this year
They have the monopoly in the
Yeah.
States, so they don't want to lose anything, so they don't want to open it. It's a small country and they can control it, still can control it.
Yes. So
Yes, so I would say Ecuador because
Yeah.
I have some clients there and I see some good numbers coming out of Ecuador. And then in Central America a little bit, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador. There's a little bit of small markets, but there's some action
maybe
there as well.
Venezuela, no? No.
No,
Maybe.
who knows?
We
We don't know now.
Maybe it would
It
be a
depends
surprise.
who's going to run the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah. Maybe Venezuela. Venezuela can be a great market.
There's a lot of operators working in Venezuela already, but we cannot supply because being a listed company, we cannot. In some markets, we are not cannot do it.
And for sure, it's hard to know anything about Venezuela also as well.
Aviv, Cecilia, Pedro, thank you so much for joining me in this panel discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.